Welcome to the latest episode of Branding the Experience, where we discuss ways how we can create environments where employees actually want to come to work and customers want to keep coming back. Hi, I'm Ken Bader, your host for Branding the Experience, and I had expected to actually have a guest on this particular show, but she didn't show up, which is a good thing because I really wanted to talk about this particular subject today, which is helping is the new selling. We talked about this in a panel that I had the distinct pleasure to be a part of earlier this week. Doug Sandler from the Nice Guys podcast. I know I'm going to get that name wrong, but the name of the podcast, not the name of the individual. But Doug Sandler was nice enough to invite me on I believe it was a 7 or 8 person thought leader panel. Was really blessed to be a part of that. I shared some good tips, and just as important, I got a lot of good tips from there. And one of the things that we talked about in that panel was that helping is the new selling. And Melinda Winstock, one of the thought leaders, had specifically said that's always been the case, but even more the case today. And I do want to give you a couple examples on this that helping, even if it doesn't bring cash flow right now. And trust me, on this particular day, which is March 27th of 2020, so many of us around the world, not just here in California where I am, are in the throes of this coronavirus pandemic. And let me say again, I hope if you're watching this that you're safe and that you're healthy, and the same to your entire family. But during this time, it's really important to concentrate on helping because that will help to build your brand. And not only now, but in the long run. And I've heard some people talk about, we should just do good for the sake of doing good. And I truly agree with that, and I believe that. But people need to know what you're doing. And if you're doing good, why not use that as the right way to leverage? Yeah, as long as you're doing things the right way for the right reasons, there's no reason why people shouldn't know about it. Now, I'll share a little story here real quick. Number of years ago, I worked for a financial institution that did some amazing things for charity, really put themselves out. It was actually a credit union, and I may have told this story before, but it's poignant now, so bear with me. I'm going to tell it again. They did some great things, and we were about to send out a number of press releases on all of the charitable work that our credit union was doing. And a couple weeks went by, and I went to the chief operating officer and said, I haven't seen the approval for those press releases, and if they were approved, I didn't see them in any of the trade publications. Did I just miss something? And the chief operating officer kind of hung his head and talked lowly and said, well, the CEO decided not to do that. Why? If we don't do that, it's kind of a waste of resources. We wrote it, we did the charity work. Why wouldn't we send those out? And he says, well, the CEO thinks that we should just do good for the sake of doing good and not toot our horn. Well, to a certain point, I agree with that. But when it comes to a business, a credit union specifically, because it's our members' money at a credit union, they deserve to know how their money is being used. If you're a public business, stockholders deserve to know how those resources are being used, and they want to know that they're being used for good. And even for private businesses, knowing that your business, the business that you patronize, is doing good work, you need to know that because it makes you feel good to support them. And of course, I think it was about 6 months later, I was in an executive meeting, and the CEO pounded, on the table, says, "How come nobody knows about all of the work that we do with charities?" Well, Like Stephen Covey used to say, you can't enlighten the unconscious. But especially at this time, there's nothing wrong with sharing the good works that you're doing, as long as they're legitimate, as long as they're sincere, as long as they really are helping people. And in a few examples, Zoom came out and gave their platform for free to high schools and colleges, I believe, so that they can do online learning right now. Starbucks, great move. Sometimes I don't always like what you're doing. I used to be a much bigger fan of your brand, but great move lately on giving free coffee to first responders and healthcare workers during this temporary crisis. I think it's not only the right thing to do, but a real smart branding move. I mean, think about it. Think about the cost of doing a commercial during a Super Bowl and the cost of giving away some coffee. Coffee isn't necessarily that expensive. I guarantee you're going to get a lot more goodwill from the marketing dollars of giving away some coffee to people that really need it, that are helping us at this time and working 12-hour shifts, maybe more, than you would on a Super Bowl commercial. And also a ton of small businesses out there that are really selling by helping, by giving muffins away, giving baked goods away that they're making, giving other food items to the elderly, to first responders, to healthcare workers, to people that really need it. And certainly, I want those businesses to make a positive cash flow because they need it, not only to support their business, but also to support jobs of people that are working at that business. But certainly, now's not the time to worry about margins necessarily. If margins can be squeezed and you could do more good, I guarantee you a concept or a focus on helping is the new selling is going to do great things for your brand. And most importantly, do great things for the people around you and for yourself. Thank you for spending some time with me today. And as always, here's hoping that you're branding the experience at a very high level for all those you serve. And of course, stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you for watching Branding the Experience. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you're looking for a speaker on branding the experience, on workplace culture, or on business strategy, I have a number of different options for you. And my approach is always to entertain first, engage second, and educate third. It's a formula that leaves my audience not only laughing and enjoying, but also learning. So if you want a great speaker on branding, culture building, or strategy, I'd like to hear from you. Simply send me an email at kbator, BATOR, at btcinc.net, or to learn more about the presentations that I've done that have been successful in the past, go to www.btcinc.net.